Most people think warming up is about setting yourself up to play better that day, but that's not actually why it matters. And that misunderstanding is the exact reason most people don't stick to it. Hey guys, Yonoka here. And in this video, I want to talk about why no matter what video you watch about becoming a better player and a more consistent player, they all mention something about warming up. But almost none of them explain it properly. By the end of this video, you're not just going to understand why warming up is emphasized so much, but why the way we talk about it completely changes how effective it actually is. And no, this isn't about getting ready for ranked. Before I go any further, quick disclaimer, I'm not some psychologist. I'm just someone who, in my opinion, is relatively more self-aware than most people. The intention of this video and future videos is to explore a lot of the mental patterns I notice within myself that, to some degree, limit my ability to perform consistently, in hopes you are able to relate and therefore use my solutions to help yourself. Since this is a Valorant channel, everything will be framed through Valorant, but my goal is for it to be applicable to your real life as well. Alright, back to the video. Now, before I explain why warming up is so important, I want to talk about the phrase itself. In my opinion, warming up is to some degree wrongly worded. Not because it fails to describe the action, but because the wording downplays the actual impact of what it does for players like you and I. And this is important, so keep that in mind. So what even is a warm-up routine? A warm-up routine is any intentional process that helps a person transition from a resting or neutral state into a state of readiness for an upcoming activity. In Valorant terms, that could mean playing deathmatches, shooting bots in the range before queuing, or even doing arm and wrist exercises before touching your mouse. On the surface, that sounds like preparation, and it is, but here's where people misunderstand it. Because we call it warming up, you and I subconsciously treat it as something you only do to prepare yourself for the day. Emphasis on only. Preparation is good, don't get me wrong, but when you've had days where you warmed up and still played terribly, or days where you didn't warm up at all and popped off, your brain starts disconnecting the routine from actual improvement. We often evaluate everything in the present moment. Did I play well today? Did this help right now? Some days you warm up and play bad, some days you don't warm up and play amazing. With enough mixed experiences like that, warming up starts to feel like a time sink, something that doesn't consistently, definitively impact your performance. So even though most of us are told to warm up, and we're aware of its importance for consistency, we either never start or we start and stop. And I think that's because the reasons for its importance, especially beyond consistency, aren't fully explored. If they were, players like you and I would understand its greater purpose, which would give us a greater incentive to stick to it. I'll pause here to say this though. If you need to be incentivized to try a routine that's recommended by multiple players who were once in your shoes and are now better than you, then you probably don't want improvement bad enough. The least you could do is try something out and explore its benefits and drawbacks for yourself. And I say explore very intentionally, because exploring means trying something more than once or twice, and for more than just a single day or week. So for the sake of this video, we're going to stop calling it a warm-up routine and just call it a routine. Because what we call something determines how seriously we treat it. And becoming a better player and more consistent player doesn't come only from what you do at the start of the day, but also what you do in between sessions and at the end of the day as well. Once you understand that, two benefits of having a routine become very clear. Before I go into those benefits though, selfish plug here, but before the video continues, if you have any questions you want answered live, I stream on Twitch and we'll be trying to do so every day at twitch.tv/Yonokas. Pull up and come say hi. All the links to all my socials are in the description down below. Thank you. Number 1. It builds consistency in successful skill output. And number 2. It builds efficient skill output. Now, they sound similar and they are related, but they're not the same. This distinction matters. Think of it like learning how to make pancakes for the first time. At the start, you're probably going to mess up measurements and you're going to be slow. The measurement mistakes represent inconsistency, like aim errors. The extra time it takes you to make the pancakes represent inefficiency. Now, back to consistency. By repeatedly taking measurements, not only do you get better at taking the right measurements, but you also learn which measurements work best in different scenarios. Maybe your friends are coming over and they lost sugar, but you don't. So you add a little to yours and a lot to theirs. In Valorant terms, this means that the more reps you get using a skill like flicking, the fewer errors you will make over time, assuming you're using proper technique. You develop awareness of how your mouse needs to move in certain scenarios. In terms of right measurements, for something like peaking, consistency looks like knowing when to short, normal, or wide peak. Now, for reason number 2, efficiency. Efficiency is about execution speed, but more importantly, decision-making speed. Instead of stopping to think about whether you should short, normal, or wide peak in a given scenario and wasting valuable time, your experience allows you to act almost immediately. More reps means you've seen similar situations before, experienced success and failure, and now you instinctively know what the right action is faster. Being efficient doesn't just mean doing something quickly, it means doing the right thing quickly. And this ties into another benefit of routines. They reduce decision fatigue. When certain actions become automatic, you save mental energy for things that actually matter in game, like adapting to your opponents or staying composed after a bad round. Now, You're probably wondering what a good routine actually looks like. Before I answer that, it's important to understand that there are different types of routines and they all matter. Specifically, your in-game routine and your real-life routine. A good in-game routine might involve the range and deathmatch at the very least. A good real-life routine comes down to things like sleep, diet, and physical preparation. I'm not going to recommend a specific routine for either, because what works for one person might not work for another. People lack different skills and they have different areas of their lives that need improvement. That said, the fundamentals are usually the same: consistent sleep, proper nutrition, and consistent reps, be it in valorant or real life. To end the video, I'll show you my in-game routine and talk a bit about my real life routine, but more importantly, why I do what I do. First, my real life routine, and the order here is relatively important. Number 1, breakfast. This is simply to fuel myself with energy for the start of the day. I used to skip breakfast when I was younger, but I realized I had a lot more to gain by making sure I actually had energy during my games. 2, a shower. This helps me feel refreshed and mentally prepared. I'm washing my face, waking myself up, and getting rid of anything that could make me feel sluggish. Showering after eating also gives my body time to process the food, so I am ready to play sooner. 3, eye exercises. For me, this helps with target acquisition. Sometimes I mentally lose track of what's right in front of me, even if my body reacts. Or sometimes I don't react at all. Number 4, wrist and arm exercises. These help increase local blood circulation, which reduces fatigue, stiffness, and risk of long-term injuries. Now, before I move on, this isn't where my real life routine ends. Like I've said multiple times, becoming a better and more consistent player doesn't only come from what you do at the start of the day. Now, for my in-game routine. In the range, I'll start by standing still and tapping bots. This is mostly for skill isolation, such as target acquisition, target switching, and just clicking heads. I'm not going to make this overly technical. Next, I strafe while shooting. I'm no longer isolating skills, but combining them, moving and tapping. Then, I add elevation by standing on the box while strafing and tapping. Now, I'm combining movement, aim, and elevation adjustment. After that, I take elevation adjustment further by jumping and also introducing flicking with jet knives. A more recent addition is hard bots. This helps me assess and train skills like target acquisition, target switching, flicking, and reaction speed. After the range, I play deathmatches. Not necessarily to win, but until I feel confident in how I'm taking my gunfights. This lets me apply what I practice in the range against real players. It's also where I practice my Phantom, since recently I switched off the Vandal. I play deathmatches at the beginning of my day, sometimes in the middle and sometimes at the end. Mainly to maintain good gunfight hygiene. I don't do this every day, but I play at least one TDM as well. This is mostly to work on team play skills, like knowing when to pick off teammates. I think this is especially valuable because there are no comms. Comms are important and they're not always good or even there at all. Then rank time. Woo. And once again, routines don't only apply to the start of the day. You can end your day with VOD reviews, do them after a bad game, throw in an extra deathmatch. It varies from person to person. I'm not going to list every single thing I do because that changes daily, and you copying exactly what I do won't necessarily help you anyway. The important part is that the core structure stays consistent, which is what I mentioned above for myself. If you've made it this far, I hope I've provided you with a ton of value and made everything make sense. If you want to support me in future videos, drop a sub. I promise a button won't bite. I'm also more than willing to answer any questions about specific scenarios in your gameplay or other related topics in my Discord server or Twitch streams, so feel free to join using the links down below. All my platforms will be linked there as well. Thank you so much for watching. I know you're loved and appreciated for making it to the end. Feel free to drop suggestions for my next YouTube video in the comments down below. And if you'd like to suggest stuff for my stream, then come into my Discord server and let me know. I have a channel for that. Thank you. So for this video's mini side note, I think I want to just help everyone realize that patience is really a good skill, because quite literally when I posted the video in my last video, I talked about how incompetent I was feeling, and I just said I would stop like vocalizing how terrible I felt about myself and just play the game. A lot of that kind of stemmed from the fact that I wasn't impressed, or I wasn't satisfied with my gunplay, like my gunfight hygiene. And even though that video was only posted 12 days ago, I feel like mentally I've had this like switch flip, and by that I mean I've gone from being so concerned about winning my games because I needed that as like a reassurance that like I'm worth something, to just performing well, or like doing insanely well in games, to just being satisfied with knowing that I'm putting in my best effort, and also the fact that I am starting to like really see the results in the where I can put it in and by that I mean because I played like a lot of death matches more recently, my gunfights and the way I take gunfights in general just become consistently much cleaner. Like I go into games and completely not even like it's just like a really silent confidence that I can realistically like win every fight, and like I trust myself in the way I take every fight. And that's just because I've been working on that in deathmatch. And like I played deathmatch so much due to that insecurity, but like that insecurity is no longer there. And I'm gonna play like a clip from from today's stream. Yesterday's stream, because it's 5 a.m. right now. So much fulfillment. Like nothing else pisses me off. I don't know how else to say it. Like, you see how I'm taking fights and winning them like so nicely? This wasn't me like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like so proud of myself being able to... I'm gonna white swing. I'm so proud of myself for being like good to like this degree now, because it's something I wanted so bad. Oh my god, they're getting shut on. But I literally talk about how my mental has like flipped completely, and like my whole message here is just give yourself time. And I think as long as you're doing the right thing with proper technique, like I said, have a friend look at your gameplay, look at your deathmatch. I have a Radiant friend who looks at mine sometimes, and doesn't tell you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. As long as you know you're practicing the right things and you're playing for the right reasons, eventually there'll come a point where the things you're practicing in those deathmatches start to become second nature to you, which is what I'm experiencing, and the game becomes significantly more enjoyable. Not only because you're seeing like rewards for the effort you've put in, but just because you're just like playing the game so properly, you're obliterating your enemy, right? And even if like, yeah, and that's just it, to be honest. That's just it. Yeah, take care. I'll try to think more of mini side notes to give for future videos. Some I can give from like my past self, because obviously I'm becoming a better player now and well-rounded, especially mentally. So it's becoming like slightly harder to come up with these. But like, I got you guys. If there's anything you want me to cover, like that you personally struggle with, even if I haven't struggled with it before, I'll sit down and think about it, and there are mini side note addressing it. So I think what I would like you guys to do is look through the comments. If you see anything that someone mentions that you feel like you relate to a lot and you would like advice on, like that comment, so like I can see the top most liked comment and like respond to that, and so I'm reaching out to more people at once. Okay, again, thank you for watching. I love you guys.